everyone, welcome back to Tina Teach Django. Today's lesson is about QuerySet. We're going to have a little introduction and some practice with query sets, obviously. First part, what is a query set? So query set is basically a list of objects, right? And those objects are the data of a model. You know, it comes from a database, and it allows you to get these data way easier. Let's say that you don't want to utilize all of the data, or you don't want your code to return all of the values and the objects within a database, but you only want specific ones, and QuerySet will help you do that. And we're going to test different queries in the testing section of our main website instead of messing with our code. And our main target will be views.py. Let's move on to that. Okay, views.py, testing request, my data member.objects.all. We're going to get all of the values, all of the objects, everything within the member model. And we're going to load template.html, context available members equals to my data. All right. And within template.html here, we can draw out a table. And in this table, we first have the ID, the first name, and the last name. And we're calling in available members through X. And we put in the ID, x.id, x first name, and x.last name. Okay, it's very simple like that. Now let's move on to another exercise, which is getting data. We're going to try different methods to get specific data from a model through a query set. Once again, we're going to use views.py for this. And first off, returning data as a dictionary with the keys and value pair. My data, member objects, all values is the same thing. We're not going to touch, views.py. I just want it to be here as further context. Now, in specific columns, if you want to return a specific column within your model, right, within your member model, you can go with values list, and we're going for last name. You can go for first name, you can go for joint date, you can go for phone number, but we're going for last name with this one. And you can see the difference. It's all dot values and then values list. All right. Now, in order to get specific rows, we're going to be, changing the syntax up a bit. It's going to be a little bit harder. Instead of having values list, we have filter, first name, Jessica, and then values. So we're taking the values that whatever Jessica has. Over here in views, I'm going to delete this part, and then I'm going to replace that with my data equals to member objects all. Next up, we're going to load our template with template equals to loader get template template.html, and then context equals to available members, my data. Last but not least, return http response template render context, and then request. Now we're going to move on to template.html and change this into HTML so I can have an easier time with typing this out. Table border, let's make it 2. And in table we have tr and then th ID, th again for first name, and then last name. Last name. Actually, I think I'm gonna add spacing. Yeah. And then let's create another table row and add some Django in here. For X in available members, table row, table data, x.id. Okay, oops. And then table data again, x.first name. And then last one, x.last name. Okay. So I made a bit of a mistake over here. We're not supposed to have this extra table row. Okay, and delete this as well. And replace this with N4. N4. Okay, let me just delete this part. Make sure to save, and we're going to go ahead and run our server. Hopefully you remember cd, go to the address, pi manage.py run server. Alright, when we go to testing, we have the following table over here. ID 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. First name, last name. If you find this, why is it not 4 to 5 but 6 to 7? It's because I've deleted 4 to 5, right? These still retain their ID. So Jess Brown, Jane Honey, Bean Atkinson, Strawberry Smith, Kate Hudson. Now that we're done with, getting all of the data, how about we try some that only gets specific data? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and have values, list, and first name. Only first name is returned. And then let's go back to template.html. I'm going to change the code. Let's start with returning specific values. Okay, returning specific values. And we're going to loop through the items. Table, border, 2. And then let's add our Django code. For X in available members. Then let's go in, table row, and table data. Let's have X, okay? And then, what else are we missing? N4, right? We're missing N4. Control S to save. So when you run it again, returning specific values, you have Jess, Jane, Bean, Strawberry, and Cake. Now let's try changing views.py one more time. And I'm going to get rid of this. I'll have filter, first name equals to, what was it? It's one of the name was Jane, wasn't it? Jane, and then dot values. Hopefully it's Jane, because if Jane isn't in there, we're going to get an error. Okay, now Jane does exist. All right, we have ID number 2, first name Jane, last name Honey. Then we have the phone, joint date, so on and so forth. So that's it for today's lesson. Thank you for tuning in and watching until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, learn today, better tomorrow. And I do have a coffee link. If you're interested in buying me a coffee, our next topic is going to be QuerySet filtering. So have a wonderful day.